Today, we're talking about the four levels of AI integration in business. Many business leaders think that their companies are using AI well if people are using ChatGPT, maybe using some copilots, experimenting with AI agents. The truth is, though, those things are good, but they're kind of surface level. And the best companies are integrating AI deeply into how they operate. Hi, my name is Joshua Ebner. I've spent over 20 years in the AI and data science industry, including at companies like Apple and boutique consulting firms. In this video, I'm going to walk you through four levels of AI integration, all the way from simple uses up to how the best companies are integrating AI deeply into their processes and workflows. So you can see exactly where you stand today and get a much better sense of where you could be if you use AI to maximum effect. Let's start with level one. Level one is simple AI tool use for individual productivity. So this looks like using large language models such as ChatGPT or Claude, using copilots, maybe using some AI tools just to enhance individual productivity. This can help dramatically increase productivity by helping you create things like drafts, code, getting basic advice to solve your individual work problems, and so on. But where it breaks is sometimes inconsistent quality, lack of QA or verification. It sometimes doesn't translate well across teams if one person is using, let's say, ChatGPT or an LLM or a Copilot individually. That work is sometimes difficult to transfer over to another person. So it's more difficult to integrate into broader teams and workflows. That also shows up as sort of lack of shared context and so on. So the net effect here is you do get individual productivity bumps, but it often stays very personal, and the organizational lift can sometimes be a little bit limited. Next, level two. This is AI enhanced workflows. So here I'm thinking about things like systematized processes and workflows, things where you've already mapped out a standard operating procedure, documented that process or procedure, put it down on paper so everyone knows what the workflow is. But then you kind of use AI selectively at specific parts. So here you can use AI to enhance one specific person's productivity in that workflow. You'll probably also have some checks, some quality assurance on AI outputs, and so on. What this delivers is improved consistency over level one, where it was just about individual productivity. You're going to get improved consistency here on top of even greater efficiency gains, greater productivity gains, faster cycle times, and more KPI improvement. Where it breaks, though, is it still sometimes has limited reliability. It also typically has somewhat shallow data integration, and AI remains more like an enhancer than a driver of outcomes. The net effect here is you're still going to get some incremental ROI, but it might not be maxed out and it might still be somewhat inconsistent. By the way, if you want to know if your company is really ready to use AI, click the link in the description below. Go take my AI readiness assessment. It's 15 questions. It'll take you less than 3 minutes, and it will score you on three major areas that will tell you your AI readiness. Click on the link in the description and take the AI readiness assessment right now. Next, level three. This is where we start talking about AI systems. What it looks like is hard coded AI systems where you have a set of AI engineers that build AI into software systems, which are also tied to data sources, and then additionally have maybe some training or fine tuning to further enhance the performance or reliability or accuracy of those AI systems, along with hard coded deployment, including things like ongoing evaluation and observability or monitoring. This is essentially where we start getting into production grade AI, and this can deliver much greater accuracy, scale, and measurable business impact. On the downside, though, this does have much greater cost, both cost to build and cost to run and maintain. Almost all AI systems do have ongoing, what we call inference costs, effectively the cost to run it, as well as the cost to maintain it over time. These systems do degrade and break down, so they need ongoing maintenance and re engineering. But the net effect, if you're picking the right AI use cases and you're building these systems correctly, you can get enormous ROI from AI systems. That includes things like chatbots, predictive AI systems, recommendation systems, and so on. With each one of those things, ideally connected to some sort of business metric or KPI, things like revenue, profit, customer satisfaction, customer retention, and so on. Finally, let's talk about level 4 of AI integration. This is an AI first operating model. Here, what this looks like is integrating AI into every part of your business. You will probably have a chief AI officer who's helping you identify opportunities to use AI across the business, as well as an AI engineering team, maybe a couple of AI engineering teams in different parts of the business that can help develop the systems. But here you'll be using AI in a systematic way to enhance almost everything and drive all the different important metrics. So you'll probably be using AI for marketing for things like retention, decreasing churn, increasing customer satisfaction, identifying segments, customizing your marketing outputs, and so on. You'll probably be using AI for sales, things like prospecting, sales training, identifying problems in your sales process. You can use various AI techniques to do this to figure out what the major pain points are, using it for customer research for purposes of sales enhancement. You can use AI for your operations, for your technology, your software development. Kind of across the board, you're going to be integrating AI into everything. You'll also here have your data pipelines built out and training and improvement processes to train and improve all of these AI systems across the board. That is one of the advantages of artificial intelligence, is that they can improve over time if you train them and tune them properly. And ideally here, you'll be taking all of these systems and sort of wiring them together. So you'll have teams of AIs and humans cooperating to make decisions, automate and enhance processes and workflows, integrate human expertise where it's necessary. What this will deliver is much faster decisions, higher revenue growth, lower or more slowly growing costs, and ultimately compounding ROI over time. This does have some downsides, though. Obviously, this is much more challenging to do. For many pre-existing companies, this will require tons of change management and organizational redesign. For new companies, it will require building these systems and building the overall business structure sort of from the ground up with AI at its core. It will require a lot of data and talent and strong AI-centric leadership to get all of this stuff right. The net effect, though, here is I think that the best performing companies over the next decade or two are going to have this AI first operating model. And we've actually already seen this in the past. Over the last maybe 10 to 20 years, the FANG companies and many of the best performing startups were AI centric, but AI centric in the previous AI wave. So we had a wave of machine learning over the last 10 to 20 years that involved things like predictive models, deep neural networks, and so on. The companies that won were the companies that effectively redesigned their entire operating model around this. Facebook, Google, Netflix, Amazon, you know these companies. That was the last maybe 10 to 20 years. In the next 10 to 20 years, I think the net effect is the companies that do this best going forward, that integrate AI in a very similar way, they are going to steamroll their competition. So hopefully now you see the value that AI can bring if you integrate it into your business, starting from the individual level through processes and systems, all the way up to deeply integrating AI into your very operating model. But the next question is, how do you get there? You'll need an AI strategy. So in the next video, I break down a practical executive level framework for building an AI strategy. I talk about how to place smart bets, how to choose your use cases, how to develop talent, how to tie AI to business outcomes, and ultimately how to build a sort of machine that compounds competitive advantage over time. You can watch that video here, how to build a great AI strategy.